Hey guys, welcome. And without wasting much of your time, I'm going to be looking at identity versus identity crisis. Identity versus identity crisis. Now, before we get to understand the difference between both of these factors, there are two major needs of every human. One, love. You see, we all need that feeling of acceptance, of companionship, of affection. We need love, affection, attention, and acceptance from those we respect and admire. Then the second need is this: power, influence, control. We all have that desire to control our circumstances, influence what happens around us. We all have that need for power to do whatever we like, get whatever we want for ourselves, or our needs and our wants, and even luxuries. You see, in your life, the extent to which you feel that you have love and power, and you feel that it is in a very nice level, you feel important. You feel that your life has significance and purpose. You love and admire and respect yourself and esteem yourself. Now, this affects your identity as a person. What is identity? Simply means the way you see yourself and the way you think of yourself. A corollary for the word identity is self-concept, your definition of yourself. Now let's give a more advanced definition of identity. It means psychological identification. Psychological identification. The things you've identified yourself with in your mind. The things that you feel that you're part of or that they are part of you. These things come together to make up your identity. Now, examples of the things we identify ourselves with are these: our level of wealth or financial intelligence or independence, profession, race, background, religion, physical appearance, talents, passions, accomplishments, success, failures, and even traumas, and even level of knowledge. And you can see that all these that I've mentioned, that we identify ourselves with, that forms our concept of ourselves, that forms our identity, they hinge on personal experience. They hinge on personal experience. You experience your background, experience your wealth, experience your beauty or handsomeness or physique. You experience your results, your failures. So they are built on personal experience. And this gets us to understand that your identity probably differs from my identity, because your personal experience differs from mine. And why is this so? Because the components of your identity might differ from the contents of my identity. Now, my identity might be comprised of my level of intelligence, the quality of my relationships, my faith, and my talents. And yours might be made up of your physical appearance, your level of education, your wealth, and maybe your success, or maybe even your failures. So you can see that these are the things that come together to form our experiences. Now, picture your identity as a castle. And we know a castle, just like every building, has a foundation, has pillars and walls that keeps up the image. So just have that picture of your mind, that your identity is sort of like a castle that has components upholding it. Now we are going to come back to this description, but before then we have to get a few more understanding. You see, your beliefs about yourself is very vital, because the way you see yourself, your self-image, the way you picture yourself, and your values decides and determines what you do and what you will not do. Determines what you accept and what you won't accept, what you tolerate and what you won't tolerate. And ultimately, what you do will determine what you experience, the results you will get, and the conditions of your life. Everything we do determines what we experience, determines our results and the conditions of our lives. So you can see why it is very important that we understand what our identities can do to us. Now, since our identities are built on personal experience, and we know that personal experience can never come to an end until physical death. So you can see that your identity is always in a constant state of evolution, growth, development and maintenance. Just as you develop a piece of land by building on it, as years goes by, you keep on maintaining that piece of property. So your identity needs constant maintenance. And another thing to know is this: all of life is in a state of flux. Everything is always in a state of change. Change is constant in life. So you can see that both your identity, the conditions of your life, everything is always changing. And this poses a challenge for us, because we need our identity to be stable. What we think of ourselves to be stable, so that we can have focus and direction. Now, everything that forms the component of our identities are subject to change. Physical appearance is subject to change. Your handsomeness or your beauty might be changed by old age, accident, or even illness. Your wealth can be changed by recession in the economy, or maybe fraudsters, or maybe financial mistake. So a lot. Your relationships can change. You might be having quality relationships and at some point to become toxic. So you can see that the components of our identities are subject to change. And when the wind of life or the wind of change blows our way and causes changes in these stuff that makes up our identity, it poses a challenge for us, and that challenge is known as identity crisis. So what is identity crisis? It is a period of uncertainty and confusion on who you are and what you are capable of. It is a period of uncertainty and confusion on who you are and what you are capable of. So you see that when these unpleasant changes occurs and affect those things that holds up our self-image and our self-esteem, we begin to wonder, what am I capable of? Who am I? I don't think I am who I am anymore, and all that. So because of this identity crisis poses a challenge for us. And when you are going through identity crisis, there are avoidable mistakes you will make. There are avoidable stresses that you will go through. There are avoidable levels of unpleasantness, of lack of peace of mind that you face because of that period of confusion. You and I know when you are confused. When you are confused, you can't be on the steering. You might kill yourself or your kids, or bash someone else's car. And you know that in life we are all faced with making important decisions every second, every day. A confused mind can't make an important decision. You can't expect me to lie on the theater and expect a confused doctor to come and start tearing up my body. So when we are always in a state of identity crisis, it poses a challenge for us. And because of this, coming back to to the image I painted of your identity being a castle, the foundation of your identity on which the pillars and every other thing builds on needs to be stable and unmovable despite the conditions of your life or the events going on. Now, what separates the foundation of your identity from the pillars and other things is this: the foundation has the highest level of emotional intensity and conviction attached to it. The highest level of emotional intensity and conviction attached to it. So that is where your main focus should be on, the foundation of your identity, on which every other thing, on which every other component of your self-image builds on. And we've come to the end of this video. In the next episode, we are going to look at what should be the center of our identity on which every other thing should build on. See you at the next video.